So we have a high-profile panel today. I'm joined with Mr. Manish Chaturvedi, and he's from Google, channel sales at Google India. And Manish brings years of WorkX, and he's extremely passionate about giving a level playing field to small business. And a big part of what he does at Google is that he looks after reseller partners and to help take AdWords and Google products to small businesses. And we are also joined with Rakesh. Rakesh is the founder and CEO of Ad Global, and Ad Global is one of the largest channel partners of Google in India, and in fact one of the largest, probably the first partners of Google in India. Rakesh ago, entirely bootstrapped, built up his company from scratch, and they today are handling big accounts. For example, big names like Sarovar Group, Exigo.com that many in the hotel landscape are aware of. Many brands like Maruti Suzuki, Fortis, IFCO Tokyo, Muthoot Finance. And just to give a perspective of how big Ad Global is, just in the year 2017, they are averaging approximately 4 billion impressions in India, which means that the entire internet user community in India is being served twice every month, or they are seeing an ad being managed by Ad Global twice every month on average. So that's a perspective of how big Ad Global is and and the richness of his experience and his expertise. So without wasting more time, let's get into the thick of the action. Some basic hygiene issues. In case there is an issue with this webinar, again, please go to facebook.com/JuboAssist. We are not live there yet. We will be live there shortly. And don't worry, everyone will get a copy of the entire video on your emails as well. So we will be circling back to everyone again. Let's gloss over the agenda, and Manish, why don't you help the hoteliers go through what you are seeing at Google, at Google as trends that you've seen this year?
Sure. Thanks, Tarun. Great to be here, and welcome Rakesh as well. I'd like to share some insights from a recent study that some of you may have seen. It was jointly commissioned by BCG and Google for the travel vertical. As you can see, you're in the right business. This is expected to hit almost $50 billion within the next 2 or 3 years. And this segment has been the bellwether for e-com well before retail came into play. So the online channels contribution to hotel revenues will double by 2020 from the current revenue mix of about 1/6 to about almost a third. Okay, and this is a pretty significant change. In terms of absolute value, that's more than trebling the opportunity that's available to all of us. 52% of hotel rooms are in the budget or the mid-scale segment. An important standout fact is that while the number of branded hotel rooms will nearly double in the period up to 2020, between 2015 and 2020, the mix of budget and mid-scale inventory is expected to remain constant as a percentage of mix. So it just underlines the value that small and medium businesses are bringing in to that segment. Consumers across the world are going more digital and at a much more rapid pace, even more, and especially in India. Consider this, that by 2020, 1 in every 2 consumers will take a purchase decision influenced by what they saw online. Okay, and it's really, really important. If I just take you to the next slide, I'll be able to kind of demonstrate that point a little better. So click to conversion takes a huge 46 days before a hotel is booked. A consumer spends 49 minutes researching before booking and gets exposed to 17 touch points along the way. And we all thought digital was just about, Google and a few other big players, but there are 17 touch points along the way. It's complex. It's a multi-touch point journey, and it just underlines the need for hospitality to show up online much before the actual experience. To make my point, let's consider the image below. If you can see that image on your screen, the thickness of the arrows shows the volume of transactions made between any 2 nodes. The yellow band represents search engines, and the green represents online travel channels, like the OTAs and the TripAdvisors of the world. The size of node represents absolute reach or the number of visitors who have visited that node. And as you can see, it's a multi-step complex journey. We simply cannot afford to absent ourselves. We need to be present at as many steps as possible. While searching for travel in hotels, the reach of various touchpoints doesn't quite mirror the general behavior. OTAs, search, and maps are most used when it comes to travel. At Google, we work hard to level the playing field for smaller, standalone players like many of you in this webinar. How you can navigate to win and be found across platforms by discerning travelers is something you really want to pay attention to. I'll now hand over to Tarun from Jubo, who will walk you through this and also share some very interesting insights that Jubo has derived from some outstanding data that they've got out of their experience. Thank you. Thanks, Tarun.
Thanks, Manish. So, walking everyone through some data that we pulled out just to set the context for the conversation today, and try to showcase what trends are we seeing emerge. We try to look at the top 500 hotels who are in our client base, and we try to look at the approx revenue share or revenue mix that we have seen, and we are witnessing that about 46% of the bookings are coming in through OTAs. And more than 50% are coming through non-OTAs, but within the non-OTAs, the largest chunk, although is direct, it's at 39.4. This includes a mix of emails, bookings coming through, or queries coming through emails, telephone, walk-ins, etc. Direct booking engine is only about 3%, and travel agencies contribute 9.1%, which means that OTAs in the recent past have really upped the game. And there have been many factors which have gone into OTAs getting that kind of revenue share of each hotel on an average. Of course, numbers would change on a per hotel basis, but that's the broad sense we've got for some of the higher selling hotels that we have witnessed. So one other sense that we derived from our data was that chains who are our clients are better at direct selling and are better at direct bookings and getting more bookings to the booking engine than standalone hotels. And chains are also better at controlling the number of bookings they are getting through OTAs. So OTAs only contribute 41% of a chain's revenue, while for a standalone hotel, in this set they contribute about 50% of the revenue. So this says that standalone hotels can do much better in getting a higher share of their revenue directly through their own channels, and this is what we are here to talk about. And I think Rakesh, this is where I think you will keep coming in a lot. But just to give a sense and complete that thought on why are OTAs driving more direct bookings, I think most people in the hotel industry are aware of the discountings and the losses that they are sort of incurring to open up the market. Now, that's also a very good thing, because many travelers which were not traveling are now being encouraged to travel by booking up a cheap hotel room, cheaper than they would otherwise book by going on to these OTAs. But at the same time, many hotels which have evolved are also seeing some pitfalls of too much dependence on OTAs. We'll come to that in a bit, but some other factors that go in the OTA's favor as to why they drive direct bookings are the fact that they give a lot of diversity to each customer coming onto their website in terms of hotel options, travel options, packages, the packaged offerings like flight plus hotels, buses, holidays, etc. And they also make the booking process easy. And they also give a sense of security to the customers who are coming in by giving them easy refunds, modifications, and help through a call center. But just like they bring a lot of advantages, as hoteliers, you also need to understand that you're the asset owner, you're the ultimate owner of the business, and an OTA is an enabler for you. So there are inherent advantages that you as the business owner possess. And those advantages are best leveraged by you yourself. And these are areas where you can ace or go one step ahead and try to increase your direct bookings. And these are things like personal touch. For example, an OTA will not be able to answer complicated questions around your business if someone were to call up the OTA. For example, what view will I see from this room? Or where exactly is this hotel located? What's the closest landmark? It's not able to, an OTA is not able to upsell packages or to offer unique add-ons like an airport pickup or a railway station drop or a basic 10-minute spa package complimentary. So these are few things that if the hotel owner is handling better or well, it can increase the number of direct bookings that it's converting. and improve that revenue mix.
I think if I can come in here, I think the other thing that it does is also it gives you a lot of credibility, right? The credibility around your brand, the value that you're promising, is very different from what others say about you.
Yeah.
And it's really, really important because others come from a far more commercial consideration than you do yourself.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
always good to kind of do it yourself.
Yeah.
Get people to take you to platforms that are independent and available purely because people have an intent.
Right. Absolutely. So some of the pitfalls of depending too much on OTAs are, for example, many people already talk about it in the industry that if OTAs are discounting heavily, or if they're running too much promotions or discounting pricing or running too many packages, or sorry, coupon discount, etc., then it makes it difficult for them to negotiate well with direct guests and also negotiate well with agents, because let's say you have a display rate of 5,000 rupees, but the OTA is selling you at 4,000 rupees. Now, even if you wanted to give the travel agent a rate of 4,200 or 4,500, the travel agent will come back and tell you, no, you're selling at 4,000, I need an even lower rate. So these are problems that hotels get into with their traditional offline channels. The other thing that takes a hit is the quality of guest. For example, you're a hotel which typically has a profile of guests which pay generally 5,000 rupees plus, regular customers who come back to you for their vacations or holidays. But if your visible price point on an OTA comes down to, let's say, 3,000, then the quality of people that land up to the hotel is not similar to the people that you'd like to see around you during your holiday. So that profile of audience is just unmuted or muted. The other thing that happens is that OTAs fill up the lowest category room, because the number one advantage that OTAs want to bring to their customers is a low price point. But at the moment your lowest category room is sold out, you will find that because your next category room is priced higher, you will find the ranking of your property on that OTA's destination page will go down, and the other properties which are cheaper will probably start appearing higher. And this means that they are not helping you with good category selling and higher category selling, and this is a problem that you need to address yourselves. The other factor that we've seen is that people who come through OTAs or OTA guests, because they're extremely price sensitive, they also end up spending way lesser than traditional guests on ancillary revenue like F&B, spa, travel desk, sightseeing, etc. So traditionally, ancillary revenue is about 40 to 50% of traditional room revenue, but for OTA guests, that number is really low, far lower than normal. So that's an area where people take a hit. And of course, we've talked about lack of personal touch, and we also are seeing that too much dependence on OTAs means that over years the commission structures keep getting higher, and you're locked into a partner who is asking for higher commissions from you. And it's in your interest to sort of break away from high commission structures and try to take your fortune and your destiny in your own hands. And that is what we are here to discuss. You guys, so I think the stage is set for Rakesh now to sort of take us through how really can hotels drive direct bookings. Just to set the context, one last context, that we've also seen that even really small hotels who have 25 rooms on an average are spending close to 60,000 rupees to 1 lakh rupees per month on OTA commissions. Now, this is a cost that they don't realize because they are not signing checks or doing a transfer to an OTA, but this is the broad commission that they end up paying to the OTA because the OTAs deduct this amount from the payment that comes to them. And this is a big number. So the bigger is your inventory or the higher is your price point, the amount commissions that you're paying for acquiring these OTA guests is extremely high. So
I think most OTAs also have started now promoting hotels only because they don't make money anywhere else.
That's true. That's true.
There is no subscription model. Airlines don't pay you commission, so hotels is the place where they make the money. And it's a lot of the small hotels who are really funding that. So you have an opportunity to at least look at other ways by which you can optimize your revenues.
Okay.
Rakesh?
Yeah, thank you, Tarun. So OTAs are a necessity for small hotels because it gives them a slightly revenue channel which is kind of assured. But as you rightly said, it's not a long-term strategy. Maybe that's something that they can look at for a short-term basis, but what they should definitely do to maintain their brand and the long-term longevity of their hotel is to look at how they can get direct customers. So in this segment, we are going to talk about how they can achieve, and how as a small hotel or a hotel chain, they still have that capability to compete with OTAs and really get the direct customers. And like everything else, the first thing that they should do is get their house in order. And house on digital is the web and the mobile assets that they have. It's the website or the mobile app or even the Facebook page if they have nothing else. So so just maintain a good hygiene, provide enough information there, make sure that wherever it is hosted, it really renders fast, and then utilize some of the great free tools available on Google, like the Google GMB pages or the maps. Get your listings there. Optimize the website by injecting right keywords. If you are a hotel in Rishikesh, just make sure that you are having that Rishikesh hotels and the views. Maybe you are around Ganga, so just make sure that all of those are there as part of the content.
Right.
And then just make sure that you are having a web form or a phone number displayed on every page that your website has, so that from wherever the person walks into on your website, they can reach out to you easily. And like keep updating latest photos of your website, of your hotel on the website. Make sure that the guests who are visiting, they're also writing reviews and the testimonials about their stay with your hotel. So these are very basic things which they seem very big, and this is exactly what these big OTAs do on their pages. If you go and study their hotel page, this is exactly what they've done. They've added pages, they've added reviews, they've added professional photos, user shot photos, and with the kind of mobile phones that we have nowadays, we can shoot a 3D or a 360 panoramic photo from our phone itself. So it's that easy. So just make sure that you utilize every possible small tools that you have to make your hotel look the way it is on the website.
I think one important point is also, and this is something that we found out from research at Google as well, is that when you have a landing page, how fast your page lands on the web, especially on mobile, is really, really critical to how long people stay. And I don't know about how fast a lot of the audience's pages land, but the average time that a person will wait for a page to land is a maximum of 4 seconds.
Very interesting.
If your site does not land in 4 seconds, it's not optimized, then you're going to lose that customer. And you look at all the other OTAs, they'll land up really fast.
I was reading an article by Jeff Bezos who says that every microsecond that they saved in showing them a search result has added $10 million to Amazon's revenue. So that's page load speed is extremely important, but the quality of pictures and is also important. Like grainy pictures don't elicit a reaction from people. So those things also are basic hygiene factors that you need to sort of.
At the same time, people also appreciate real photos and rather than photoshopped photos.
Right.
Because we can make out difference between professionally shot photos, airbrushed photos, and all. So which is why even when I go to an OTA site, I always go to the user click photos,
the user generated content,
because that gives me the real perspective and the real picture of the
right.
So it's a combination of both actually.
And if there's a video on the landing page, do you realize that has a better engagement than a regular photo?
Yes. For a hospitality domain, it will definitely have, but make sure that video does not make your landing page heavy. And like he said, 3.6 seconds is what the average time is, after which people just bounce off. And mobile should be the center of your strategy, because 70% of all the audience on travel domain are coming through mobile devices. So
with a 4x higher conversion rate ratio.
4x, yes.
Plus, also important to point out that we at Google are also making it easy for you to put out videos of your property. You'll see YouTube Director is just around the corner. It's something that allows you to make your video in less than 15 minutes. Both partners like AdGlobal, Rakesh, as well as when you bring out partners, they can help you actually optimize those videos, put them on those websites, make sure that they run well on mobile phones, and it really doesn't cost the earth to do these things. You don't have to go to a creative director and get it done. You can do it yourself.
Nice.
So moving ahead, once you've gotten your house in order, Google provides Google AdWords as a amazingly powerful platform for business of any size to attract relevant audiences. Now these are audiences who are searching on Google for, let's say, hotels or vacations, and that's exactly when you can show your ads. So let's talk about what is Google AdWords, how does it work, why you should use it, and when you can derive value out of Google AdWords and stuff. What is Google AdWords and how it works? It's basically an online advertising platform provided by Google, wherein, like I said, advertisers have this option of setting up their campaigns basis the keywords they want their ads to be shown on the search page. Only those ads it does not matter to Google if you are a big OTA like a Make My Trip or a Clear Trip or a small hotel, as long as the keyword relevance is there, you have set up the campaign correctly, you have all the chances of appearing on top of them.
So there are a couple of myths around this also, that can I bid, can I compete with an OTA if I'm a hotel owner?
Absolutely.
So what's your answer for something like this?
Absolutely, you have all the options and all the right to compete and even beat them. It's multiplied by something called the quality score. Now, if you put unlimited CPC but your quality score is 0, you still can't appear. So it's a combination of both.
Right.
So with a smaller CPC and a higher quality score, you can still outrank.
Outrank as well as underspend.
Yes, yes. And you can control your spends, by the way. Your daily spend, your monthly spend, per keyword spend. So it's pretty, I would say, very, very strong.
Right.
And small businesses can really make sure that every single penny is.
So I think, if I were the audience, I'd be really keen to know, like, when Rakesh says you can do this and you can do that, what it basically means is that, yes, you can do it yourself as well. But then in the scenario that we are representing out here, you can actually make sure that it's done for a fee that's a lot less than what you probably pay your agencies right now. Right? So people like Rakesh, AdGlobal, Jubo, they're capable of doing this for you, and you should take full advantage of that. Because at the end of the day, you'll find that the revenue that you get out of this activity is going to cost a lot less than what it does probably for you with OTAs and other platforms that you use.
Also, just to get a sense, when you're talking about quality score, is the quality score, what's the ratio of the dependence on the quality of the landing page versus the quality of the ad copy? In the sense, what have you written on the ad campaign, and are you using the call extension or not, etc., etc. So the quality of setting up the ad versus the quality of the landing page, are they equally important? One more important than the other?
Well, there's a secret sauce of Google. They will never tell which factor is more. Which factor is more important? They're both important. That's all we know.
Okay.
The quality of ad copy will determine what is called as a CTR.
Okay.
So the better and more relevant your ad copy is, more people will click on it. So that will increase your CTRs.
Okay.
High CTR is always directly proportional to a good quality score.
Okay.
But once they click on it, they have to go to a landing page.
Right.
And that landing page now has more than 200 other parameters Google will look at.
Right.
The content and the keyword density. Then
the page load speed.
Page load speed is one of the most important parameters. Yeah. So a lot of those things. So
backlinks are they important for quality score? Number of backlinks to that landing page,
no.
Or that's only for organic SEO.
Yeah, that's all.
Only for organic. Okay. Interesting.
In fact, the lesser the links on landing page, the better for your conversion, because there are lesser exit points. So you're getting the right audience and giving them a limited option.
And let's say if it's not mobile friendly, the page, then it's a bad quality score.
It's a sin nowadays to not have a mobile friendly landing page. Yeah.
Great.
70% of your audience will come on mobile pages.
Great insights.
Yeah.
You can even do that.
So this is brief about Google AdWords and how it works. This is a repetition of a slide which Manish showed. I just wanted to put emphasis more back on Google, because we believe that most of our reservations are coming from OTAs. But 92% of our customer base, they're still on Google search. So there is all the more chance for us to get there on Google as ourselves and get that customer as first hand rather than through OTAs.
Mhm.
There's a small thing, which is small demo that we've done, where we took 100 of your top hotels,
Yeah.
and we put on a tool from Google, which gives us it's called a keyword planner, which gives us a idea of search volumes. So when we put those 100 brand terms, and we see how many search volumes are there for them, we saw that around 47,000 searches for these brand terms are there on Google alone, which is a huge number.
And this is in a month like October. It's not even a high month.
Exactly.
And this is for only 100 of our top hotels.
Only 100.
And only the brand keywords.
Only brand, nothing else.
Not
No
even,
generic.
not even hotels in Shimla, but like Hotel ABC.
Hotel ABC, yes.
Yeah, so
yes,
this
yes.
is a high number of searches that are happening for even brand keywords that hotels are missing out on.
Absolutely. And this is exactly where OTAs show their ads,
Right.
and they get that booking and charge commission too.
Right.
So, I mean, this is a low-hanging fruit for every hotel. At least on their own brand terms, they should be there.
Yeah, exactly.
We know that at Google, the way searches are increasing on Google in India, there's like 54% increase from last year, and it's going to increase like this for some time, because a lot of people are getting added into Indian internet ecosystem. The more the people are searching, the more the people will get the chance to directly connect with brands. It's a great opportunity for brands to really showcase themselves rather than showing through someone else. Like Manish said, what others say about you should not become more important than what you want to say about yourself. Yeah. So it's basically
right.
And 70% of it would come from mobile. So the big question: can Google AdWords help business? The big emphatic answer is yes. It can get you relevant visitors. It can get you more calls, leads, and bookings. So it's, in a nutshell, it can do everything what an OTA does. Should you not do any business with OTAs from day one? No, that's not what I'm suggesting. Keep doing business with OTAs. Get your digital strategy in place. Overall, with time, reduce the dependence on the business coming from OTAs and get direct business. This takes time. So, at least have a patience window of about 90 days to 100 days for this to kick in, because any digital campaign which goes live needs optimization and picking up. So you need to show that.
So it's also one thing to say that someone who's running your campaign on Google needs to learn about the behavior of the people who are searching for that destination. Therefore, it takes time to optimize it. But other things that we hear from other digital companies also is that Google itself needs a history of your campaign to be able to improve your visibility. What is that all about?
So it's a combination of both. At the back end of Google AdWords is this smart AI and machine learning driven platforms. What it looks at, and then there are some amazing tools in the platform itself, like conversion optimizer and stuff. So let's say for any machine learning driven AI platform to really perform well, it needs data set.
Right.
And for every business, you have to create your own data set. You cannot work on some other data sets. Though on Google there are available audience sets, like a similar audience for people who like to travel and stuff, but that is a big universe and an umbrella data set, and the people interested in your hotel will be a small subset of it. So for this system to really start performing well, you need to create that data set, which is why I said you need to have some patience for about 90 days or 100. Once that data is there, Google will start estimating what IP addresses, what kind of people. So Google creates personas. They click better. They convert better.
So how to serve your ad to the right place so that you are also happy.
Exactly.
And someone else who's bidding on your keyword also is satiated. No one is disappointed. So at least.
Yeah, it's a great. So if we look at this whole ecosystem, there are three people who are being interacting with each other. One is the user, internet user, who comes on Google, which is a second party, and the advertiser, which is the third party. So it's a win-win-win for all the three parties.
Right. Interesting.
Yeah. So how, for a small business, do we advise that you should run your campaigns initially? So for about a week, we should only do brand campaigns and see how it is working. And then after a week, we can switch on the call only campaigns. We believe it can work great for business hotels. They're price conscious customers. Sometimes they land in the city and then they are finding hotels, or they're like late for a meeting and then they're trying to find accommodation. So a call only campaign will make sure that these campaigns are running only on mobile devices, which means we only serve to people who have more intent. And then we do not have any lead form kind of a thing. So it's a direct call coming from the campaign.
Right.
And after 15 days, we should then enable high intent generic campaigns like hotels in Rishikesh, near Ghat, or something like that.
Or
Long tail
serving
keywords,
pets or allowing pets.
Exactly,
etc.
exactly. So those
Right.
kind of things.
Right.
So we should go gradually in phases. The best practices that we should be following during the execution, we should use all the combination of brand keywords at least, so that all the traffic comes to your website, not the OTA. Then we should create smart ad copies, basically, where we highlight all these specific things. For instance, if you serve, let's say, breakfast, or breakfast is complimentary with the stay,
Right.
that is a small enough, good enough incentive for people. Yeah. So just add all of that. Or free Wi-Fi. Free Wi-Fi for business travelers is big. So adding that as extensions, they always help.
But adding an extension which is not available through an OTA, for example, a free airport pickup or a drop, or it's something else. Is that a tip for hotels to highlight and get more clicks than
Absolutely,
OTA?
that's a great idea. I mean, things which OTAs do not provide and you can. So I mean, nothing like it.
Yeah.
Also, what's unique to where your, for example, where your hotel or your resort is located. So one could be transportation, the other could be an experience, the other could it could be local cuisine experience, whatever it is, something that cannot be generically provided on a platform that has millions of hotels. Right? Those are those unique things that you should be able to put out.
Something where the perceived value is high, but the cost to the hotel is low.
Yeah.
For example, let's say the cost of an airport pickup for, let's say, in Gurgaon for a hotel would not be maybe for a couple of $100 or 300, $400, but the perceived value for the guest could be 1,000, 2,000 rupees. Now we'll say if I'm booking through an OTA, I'm not getting that drop and the hotel is providing me the drop. So maybe they forego that extra discount through the OTA and come to you.
And especially for like women or solo women traveler, it's not about the cab service, but if it is provided by hotel, there's more safety associated with
security and all
so,
that.
So it can be a great
driver. Yeah.
So the platform provides excellent targeting opportunities. We can select areas where we can show ads. We can select timings when we want to show ads. If a hotel is usually overbooked in weekends, we can make sure that we can run campaigns to show ads to get bookings in weekdays. Yeah. So all of those are possible. Yeah.
Right.
These are best practices that we follow during the execution. We make sure that we set up the Google Analytics in the right manner. It helps us analyze the data which is getting accrued, right from what pages people are visiting, what feature of or what facility which the hotel is providing is being viewed more. It helps us provide those valuable inputs back to the hospitality. Then we keep monitoring the search queries. Sometimes we kind of miss out on expecting the keywords which people will be typing, but Google gives reports around what were the actual queries typed in by people. So then we can add those keywords as part of our campaign. So it helps us increase our base. And then the technical monitoring of the website about the load time and the other technical stuff should be done regularly. And these are technical things like the UTM tracking validation. We can look at the entire customer journey. We can also provide daily automated reporting. At least a hotel can know that how many clicks were served, how many people came on what pages, what were the number of calls received, what were the number of inquiries received.
Right. So this is so in your process you give a daily report to your clients.
Yes. We also provide them with an access to a reporting dashboard which they can log in and see real time.
Right. Yeah. Great.
So that's it from
So
our
I think,
side.
yeah, so that sounds like a lot of work. Is that's what the slide also says, because the reality is that many people might be aware of the fact that on their own hotel people are serving ads, but they are not. They know that there's a way to do it, but they really don't have access to the right uh, agency, the right person to do it for them. And so this is where Ad Global or our partnership with Ad Global Google, between Ad Global Ad Global Jubo and Google, sorry about that, comes into play, where we have come out with a product which can help hoteliers um, sort of kickstart their journey towards increasing their direct bookings. And this is what the next slide sort of showcases. Um, so we, I think between us, you want to talk about the inaugural package that you were proposing?
Yes, we usually do not take a monthly package, but as a special offer for the Jubo customers, we are doing a monthly package with a very small investment of around 25,000 rupees, where we are not going to charge any fee for ourselves. So this is purely a budget which is going to get spent on Google,
Yeah.
where we make sure that your campaigns are set up, the right keywords are there, and then we do a tracking so that you get maximum returns out of this.
There's a virtual number.
Plus, we are going to add a virtual number.
number.
This virtual number gives a very interesting call analytics, because this is a special tool through which we can check what kind of keywords are giving you best quality calls.
Right.
We can check that automatically by the
Right.
length of calls
Right.
also. Yeah.
So hoteliers will be able to log into your application on their phone and not only listen to all the calls that came through your campaign,
Yes.
they can even interpret whether they were being missed or they were being answered
Absolutely.
incorrectly or not, whether most calls were for a query or whether they were just for a location.
Absolutely.
So this monitoring can really help through
Yes.
a platform
Yes.
like this.
Yes. Yes.
Great. So so you want to move on to the next slide. So for everyone on the webinar, if you want to look at the package that we have on offer, you can visit jubo.com/adboost, and you can send in a query or fill up a form, and our team will get back to you with the finer aspects of the product. Finally, we also have a few FAQs that audiences have asked us. So I'll quickly try and run over some of the FAQs that have come our way. One question that we get asked a lot is, why should I spend on my own brand keyword? Because I have a website and my website ranks well on the organic results. So why is it important? We have tried to cover some ground in the presentation, but we want to sort of give some more perspective.
So I think this may be a case where a hotel may not have listed on Google My Business and they're not on Maps.
Right.
Because if a customer has gone to your website, has seen the extension and has called you, then he obviously didn't see that next to the call button. There's also a place where you can say, find us, or this is where our location is.
Right.
Again, this is like a bouquet of services that somebody like Ad Global can do for you, right? So they'll create those buttons for you,
right,
so that you're discovered on Google My Business, directions, it automatically translates into Google Maps,
right,
and can help you with all of that.
Right.
Yeah,
It's about the quality of the website.
The other thing is, though your website might be ranking top on the organic, but the OTAs will be running ads, and their ads will come on top of it.
And especially on mobile, it looks like an organic ad right on top, and you don't scroll down a couple of pages and go to your ad.
So you will miss out even though you are on the top.
On the top in organic. So you can't miss out on the AdWords opportunity.
There has to be a balance. I won't say that we should be there on.
You can't shut one for the other.
Yeah.
There should be some balance.
Another question that we get asked is, I am a hotel, let's say Hotel ABC near New Delhi railway station with a price point of 1200. So it's a budget hotel. He's defining the profile, his own profile. My own brand searches are low. So people are not looking for Hotel ABC or Hotel Jai Palace, for example, in this case. What should be an ad strategy for this guy?
So then when you have a less brand searches, then you go for more generic campaigns. But we should always go for a long tail campaign than a pure play generic campaigns like hotels in Delhi will be like a huge competition. But hotels near New Delhi railway station or budget hotels near New Delhi railway station, as you keep increasing the keywords or the query length, the CPCs usually go down.
Or there were some interesting insights that we were sharing before the conference also, that if, for example, he's near New Delhi railway station, he might have information that there is this train that arrives at 8 p.m. every day that has, let's say, 500 people descending every day. And if you run a geo-focused ad at that point in time, it might get you more queries.
Yes.
So the relevance of where the person is searching from is typical of a quality score, right?
Yeah.
And so if he's somewhere near your hotel, the chances of your hotel popping up first on the list is pretty high. Compared to McMetropolis office is like far away.
Yeah.
Typically that does happen.
So these are insights that the hotel knows about itself that an OTA will not, and that it can use it to set the ad campaign.
And then on your GMB page on your maps,
Right.
you're going to be showed as 200 meters away.
Right.
So that's a big thing.
Great. One question we, for example, get asked is, I am in a leisure destination and I am full on weekends, so I don't worry about weekends. What do I do for weekdays?
So that I covered in my talk. We can do the ad scheduling part so that so we can run campaigns around the days when weekends are not booked, where weekdays should be ideally booked. You cannot absolutely ignore it, but you can at least control it to a certain extent.
I also think that typically offers that are featured that say that, hey, stay with us the weekend and get a weekday free, or the next time you come in on a weekday and we'll extend it into the weekend. Things like that are unique things that you can't just put out on an OTA. Equally importantly, you're already paying the OTAs for advertising your own hotel, right? To a closed audience within that OTA. Here you're paying for a service that's available to the entire world. So that makes a difference.
So I think we're down to the last couple of FAQs. One FAQ is that I tried AdWords before, but I found that I didn't convert a lot of bookings on my own booking engine. What could have gone wrong? So here I'd like to mention that, for example, many people on what happens is that they are not managing the booking engine very closely. So the rates that they're pushing on the booking engine sometimes are higher than the rates currently prevalent on the OTAs. So first of all, you have to ensure that the booking engine rates are at least slightly better or at least the same as the OTA rates. At the same time, if OTAs are running a promotion, then you can't really compete on your own booking engine that closely. But what you could do is that you could have a few packages that you run, or on your website you could have a chat widget that you are managing closely, or you have a good sales desk which is answering all the queries that Google AdWords is sending on the phone. So booking engine is not the only way of converting queries. The power of the email, the power of the the contact us form, and the power of the and the website and the phone, all of them have to work well. So your sales desk has to be well oiled and well greased to sort of take care of incoming business and convert it by offering upselling options, etc.
I think the other thing that also happens, again, this is typical of small hotels as compared to the large ones, is the large chains, you will never get a better rate outside of their direct
outside
website,
of their own,
right? But in small hotels, it completely depends on your own hygiene checks. And to your point, right? Every touch point for the hotel must be saying the same thing. And it has to be far more credible than what somebody else is saying on your behalf, which is typically an OTA.
So we'll cover one last question which has been asked of us.
That's it.
I think that's as far as the questions are for us is concerned. We'll end the webinar now. After you sign out of the webinar, there will be a few poll questions. So we'll really request you to answer those poll questions, because it will help us get a sense for what we can improve and also announce the next webinar. And also, big apology today for being able to start it, not started on time and a little late. But thanks for standing by, and we'll see you soon. Thanks a lot.
Thanks.
Thanks.
It was great finally.
I think if people can still hear us, the first question was on. Now the next question is on. In the first question, we saw 38% people said that they are getting less than 1 lakh rupees worth of business from OTAs. The next question that we have on is where we are asking how much OTA commission are you paying currently. So we have about 47% people who are saying less than 20% commission, and many people are saying 25 to 30%. 31% people are paying 25 to 30% commission for every booking. So that's a surprisingly big number. That's a big number. So which means that on an average you are spending upwards of between upwards of 1 or 2 lakh rupees a month on OTA commissions on an average. There will be a couple of more polls or a final question. So if you can answer that, that would be nice.